Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Steeldive SD1957. Start with the wrist check. I'm wearing this WM watch 189M. I just reviewed this one not too long ago, so if you haven't seen the review, be sure to check it out. And Grogo's wearing my Sukume 9281. Grogo asked Captain Rex about his time as the Clone Ranger and why he wore a mask since all the clones looked the same. Rex said he didn't wear the mask to hide his identity. It exfoliated his skin and got rid of the bags under his eyes. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this Steeldive plastic container. All the Steeldives come in this container, and this container is great. I really like this container. They stack nicely, they protect the watch, and they're just so darn useful. Plus, it also came with a sizing tool. But here it is. Yeah, this is an homage to the Omega 007 watch. And they did a good job with this. So I've been very pleased with it. This is the 5th Steeldive on my channel. You would think that after almost 4 years of reviewing watches, I would have done more considering their popularity. But I have focused more on Addy's Dive, which make very similar watches at a slightly lower price. This is an homage to the Omega No Time to Die 007 Seamaster, and even has the little government issue symbol on the bottom. Unlike the titanium Omega, this is a steel watch, but does have the 300-meter water resistance, so it is a big and chunky watch. It also doesn't have the unnecessary manual helium escape valve, which is one of the major complaints about the Omega Seamaster Pro. This SD1957 only comes in the No Time to Die colorway, so your only choice is the strap or bracelet option. A mesh bracelet similar to the 007 Omega is not an option, and if you don't want the steel bracelet that is similar to the standard Seamaster 300 Pro, you can get a double pass with either the bond coloring or khaki. There is also a black Steeldive rubber strap. If you like rubber straps, the Steeldives are really good quality. The watch is 41.8 millimeters if you measure at the bezel. 48.8 millimeters lug to lug, but it has protruding end links. It's chunky. It's 15.8 millimeters thick, including this dome crystal. And it's quite a dome there. Has a 20 millimeter lug width and no taper. It stays 20 millimeters all the way to the clasp. And weighs 177 grams on the supply bracelet with 3 links removed. So it's a heavy watch. The bezel's 120 click unidirectional, and the action's good. It's a little stiff, but stiff enough where it doesn't get knocked out of place accidentally any. Of course, it's always hard to get a grip on this type of bezel. I prefer the coin edge type, but then again, this is what Omega does on their Seamaster, so this is what they did. And then we have the insert. It's ceramic and it's fully lumed. You'll see a lume shot later. And then we have the dial. We have the minute markers. As you can see, they're sectored. And then we have the indices. We have a double baton at the 12, single batons at the 3, 6, and 9, dots everywhere else. Then we have the Steeldive name and logo printed on top. And then it says automatic 300 meters, 1,000 feet on the bottom. And then we have the little government issue symbol. Then we have the hands. They're skeleton hands, and they look like a real Omega Seamaster. We have the dot at the hour hand and the triangle at the minute hand. And everything's loomed here. And then we have the lollipop second hand with the red tip. Then we have a sign screw-down crown, and the thread action is just fine. You don't feel a lot of resistance when you unscrew it, and then when you go to screw it back down, it catches right away. That's always good. Plus, there's a nice pop, because this is an NH35. Then we have the crystal. The crystal is domed, and look at that. There's no distortion. So this must be double domed. And I don't know if there's AR coating or not, but to have a dome this big and not have a ton of reflection, it probably does. Then we have the case. The case is brushed with polished chamfered edges, and there are quite a bit of chamfer at the lugs. And the case is nice. This is a thick watch, but it's not because of the case. The bezel's really thick and the case back's really thick, but the case isn't thick. And then we have the case back. The case back is a screw down. And we got the Steeldive logo in the middle. Then it says all stainless steel, automatic movement. And then it says NH35 dive. And at least it doesn't say divers with an apostrophe S because it's not ISO 6425 certified. And it says 300 meters by Steeldive. And I believe them because Steeldive can make a good sturdy watch. So I believe that this is really a 300-meter watch. But then again, that's why it's so thick. Because look at that case back. Yeah. Underneath the case back is the NH35 movement. This is your go-to workhorse movement in watches in this price range. It's a 24 joule 3 hertz movement that hand winds hacks. Has a bidirectional rotor and a 40-hour power reserve. And they're usually fairly accurate right off the shelf. And I don't remember if Steeldive actually regulates them at the factory or not, but we'll put it on the time grapher and see how accurate it is. Here's the watch on the time grapher. As you can see, it's running about 7 seconds, 8 seconds fast. I have the lift angle set to 53 degrees, and so the amplitude's 277, so that's about right. A little bit of beat error, 0.4 milliseconds. That's why you see 2 lines on the screen. But at least it's running fast and not slow, because with the hacking movement, you want it to run fast, because when it drifts, you can just hack it and wait for time to catch up. But the slow movement, you actually have to move the hands. The bracelet is a 5-link, and it looks like the standard Omega Seamaster Pro and not the 007, because the 007 comes with the mesh bracelet. And most of the 007 homages come with a mesh bracelet because of that, but this one does not. And a mesh bracelet was not an option, otherwise I would have chose it. Has solid end links, and the links are not fully articulating. As you can see, they're all fixed. But it is a nice looking bracelet, combination of polished and brushed. And we have push pins, not screw pins, and it did come with a sizing tool. I'm perfectly happy with push pins. Yes, screw pins are more of a premium thing, but I never have push pins come out on me, and I've had screw pins come out many times, which can be quite annoying. Then we have a milled clasp with a pressed upper, but we have 6 holes of micro adjust, so that's great. And it is signed. We got the Steeldive name there and the logo on the clasp. Here's the watch on my 7.5-inch wrist. That looks nice. That wears nice. It is a big watch though. It's chunky, almost 16 millimeters. But it is a 300-meter diver watch. So you're not going to get a super thin 300-meter watch. I removed 3 links and then moved it in 2 holes of micro adjust. So you should be able to wear this 8.5, 8 3/4 probably. No problem. But yeah, I like it. It's a nice looking watch. And here's the watch on a double pass. This is not the strap that Steeldive sells. This is the one that came with my Watchdive's WD007. So, but they're very similar. So this will show you what the looks like, or gives you a similar look if you order the double pass. Here we are in the Lume room. Normally when it comes to watches in this price range, you don't do much better than Steeldive. But when you have a Fotino look to a watch, you're not going to do as well than if everything is white. As we see at the time, we see the green glow of C3, and we have a fully Lume bezel. Unfortunately, the tan color is messing with this Lume, as it appears to be fading faster than your usual Steeldive. The Lume pip is doing a little bit better, but unfortunately the dots at the end of the major hands are underperforming the indices, which is never a good thing. This Lume is only so-so. What I like about this watch, it looks a lot like the No Time to Die Omega. So it's a pretty spot-on homage. There's no helium escape valve like most Seamaster homages, because you don't need a helium escape valve. You're never going to saturation dive with this. And the clasp has 6 holes of micro adjust, so you can get the perfect fit, because this is a heavy watch. You need the perfect fit. What are my gripes and groans? It doesn't have the mesh bracelet like a real No Time to Die, so it'd be nice to have the mesh bracelet. It's a big, heavy watch, and it's also almost 16 millimeters thick. And the lume is somewhat disappointing for a Steeldive. It's not horrible lume, but it's not good either. Do I recommend this watch? Sure. This watch looks a lot like the Omega. It is homaging and is reasonably priced. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Steeldive SD1957, and I'll be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel, and if you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link and I'll get a tiny commission, but those tiny commissions do add up. And I'd like to thank my Members Choice members. Here's a list of them. Still only 5 people at this time, but hopefully the list will grow. And also, I am going to do a comparison video of this with the Watchdog's WD007 that I just recently reviewed. Bye.